market.
Yeah, it's a great to catch James in the early morning in his car. Let's know everything about Ethereum, about crypto, about how trading happens. James, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Okay, perfect. Well, first and foremost, thank you now for inviting me onto this call. It's always a pleasure. As you can see, I'm just actually sitting in the passenger seat of the car. I'm basically near London right now in the UK, and I trade. So basically, I just make money from my mobile phone. Gold. I love trading gold, foreign exchange, and cryptocurrency. So in a nutshell, I make money from the financial markets. And I'm currently just shy of 30 years of age. And yeah, I'm full-time on what I do. And yeah, my goal now is to impact as many lives as possible. I want to ideally impact over 2,000 lives around the world and teach over 2,000 people how they can either leave their job if they're not happy in their job, make more money than you, don't mean to sound rude, but you generally could from even a good paying job. But most importantly, show people how they can have time freedom, because for me, money you can make and lose doing anything, but time you never get back, you know. And even though I've had some good jobs in the past, I didn't like being told that my lunch is at 1 o'clock. I might not be hungry at 1 o'clock, right? I might be hungry at 2 o'clock. I might be hungry at 12. So I just had enough of that lifestyle of, you know, being controlled, if you like. So for me, it was more about the freedom than it was about the money. Just being able to be my own boss, wake up when I want, terms, in a nutshell, you know.
Yeah, that's amazing. Why did you exactly choose this kind of trading?
You know what? It was actually, I had a traditional business before, and although it was going really well, one thing I realized in traditional business, you know, you've got to have a lot of capital, it's high risk, and, you know, there's a lot on your plate, literally. You know, you've got all the responsibility, you've got to keep upkeep for so many things, you've got to pay out first in bulks of money to receive money, and it's a bit of a headache, to be honest, you know. Whereas trading, you just set up your laptop or your phone, predominantly your laptop, because obviously you want to check out the charts. And once you pick up the skill set, which is not get rich quick, you know, it does take time, it's a serious skill set, but once you start and build up your account and you can start putting some bigger lot sizes down to play with, then, you know, you've not got massive overheads. You can literally just do it from a coffee shop or from your home. You can work from where you want. As long as you've got an internet connection, you can reason. And obviously as well, foreign exchange is the biggest market in the world. So a lot of my friends, a lot of family, they've experienced in this pandemic, their business completely gone. You know, they were having success up until a year ago. And then obviously through the pandemic, they can't survive. So, you know, their business is, you know, foreign exchange, for example, before the pandemic was 5.3 trillion US dollars. It's now 6.6 trillion US dollars. The banks, they estimate that the average bank, 80% of its income comes from foreign exchange, having their own financial traders who trade the market. So for me, it was like, well, there's no safer place to be in the world. The business is pandemic proof and it's recession proof. So I don't also have the stress of having to think, what if this happens in the world? In fact, the pandemic, although I hate to say it, because obviously what's happened is bad, you know, and I would never ever want to make money at the expense of people's health. But the reality is, for traders in terms of finances, it's been an absolute dream, because there's never been more times and opportunities to make money within the markets.
Yeah, that's true. James, can you, yeah,
Bad.
can you hear me?
I can, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Doing your own business, of course, has a lot of challenges and maybe a new experience for other people who have never experienced this before. What are your recommendations and how to overcome this difficult situation?
I would say first and foremost is, it sounds really ironic, but wealth, success, it all starts in the mind. You know, if you study the most successful, this is one of the things that got me into entrepreneurship. It's the richest people in the world, the multi-billionaires and the multi-millionaires, most of them didn't even finish school. They've got no formal education. On paper, they're not logically intelligent people. Do you know what I mean? They're not people who are A-star students. Most of them didn't even achieve D grades. They're so far ahead of lawyers, doctors, surgeons, all these types of people financially, they're miles ahead. And it's just because they did a lot of personal development. For me, I listened to a lot of Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, and I just kind of try and absorb myself because, you know, the education system really taught me that the key to success is, you know, go to school, get the best education, university, pay whatever it is, 30, 40,000, you know, pounds in the UK on average to do 3-4 years of university, then go off, get a good job, and you're umbrella. But the realities are in the world today, especially in the UK, they estimate that only 20% of people find a job in their field of study. So a lot of people now are spending £40,000 in the UK for education to try and find a job. A lot of the time they end up working in a supermarket, they plan to do. So for me, but also just try and be diligent with the way the world is, because right now we're in the information age and it's all about being able to make life. So I would always think, you know, if you want to set up a traditional business, that's fine. I truly believe that if you have the right mindset, you can achieve anything. But just also try and think about what the economy is doing and think about things that are pandemic proof, recession proof, and maybe as an initial outlay. So if you do make the odd mistake or two as you're growing, because you will make mistakes, you will lose money at certain times in any type of business or form of entrepreneurship, you know, that it's not anything that's going to really maybe affect you too badly.
Well, let's go more into your personality and your daily routine. What do you do every day?
Because I believe everything is in the morning routine. So for me, I get up in the morning and I either go for a run first thing. I like to just get a run in. It releases the endorphins in the body. You know, gets your blood. I was going to say blood high. Okay, gets the blood moving, wakes you up. So I normally like to do that first and foremost. Then I like to have lots of water. So the night before, I normally have some, you know, fresh water with maybe some mint leaves, lemon, lime, you know, bit of cucumber in it, something like that, just to refresh. Then I come back and I do Wim Hof. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard of Wim Hof. He's called the Ice Man. And he does this special breathing technique. And so he's done experiments on this guy, and it's proven that, you know, what he does is save people's health. People have claimed in Denmark and Scandinavia originates from, that people have gone for like, it's proven supposedly that it's cured people of anxiety, depression. It's a breathing technique. It's very unique. Through a system for like 10 minutes of a breathing meditation. And I mean like the coldest shower you can. You do it for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and it does like a miracle on the body. You know, it really gets you alert. The next thing I do is I either do another meditation, which is more for clearing the mind and things like that. Or what I do after the prayers, I write lessons in my life. so that I practice gratitude, because the law of attraction works at its ultimate. And then I write down 10 goals. And it's very important that you physically write them down. You can't just think them. To get the pen to paper, write them out. And then it's like a definite plan. When you consciously told your brain that that is what's happening, you know? And then I start my laptop then, check out the charts. Yeah, but it's all about the morning routine. If I get the morning routine right, I have success for the day. If I don't, then I have an unproductive day.
We hope all your days are more and most productive. The other question is, what have you learned from your professional and personal life so far?
That's a great question. You know, what I've learned is probably that I read a book called Rich Dad Kiyosaki. Some of you probably on this call have read it as well, or maybe heard of it. Basically, he explained the difference between his best friend's father, who was the richest man in Hawaii, and his own father, who was one of the most educated men in Hawaii, the education system in Hawaii, but he was always in debt. He was always broke and struggling financially. And one thing I realized is his philosophy, and this isn't to say that it's not a good idea to go and get education. Yes, it's good. It's right. I'm not saying that for 1 second that you shouldn't go to uni or it's a waste of time. No, if you love what you're studying, great. If you've got a passion for it, do it. But the theory is that the system is set up deliberately by the banks and the government. Because if you look at it logically, especially, I don't know about where you are in Cairo, but in USA and Britain, you know, they set you up that the way for success is to get the best education, the best job. Now, in the UK, the biggest student in the world. So you get £40,000 in debt with interest rates after that. Who benefits? The bank and the government. Now, if you get a good job in the UK, if you earn more than £44,000 per year, you move in tax bracket called payee. So it basically means that your tax is taken without your choice. It's already deducted from your paycheck before you receive your paycheck. So if, for example, education system as a whole to try and get in that tax bracket of £44,000 to, I don't know, £80,000 in your traditional well-paid job, then who benefits most? The government again, right? Because they're getting the 40% tax bracket. But business owners and corporations, even if they're making billions, pay 20% as a flat line rate. They also pay their taxes last. And this is deliberately not taught in the education system. And the reason is because the elite people, the governments and the big corporations, the theory is get ahead. So they're giving you a set of rules to play by, manipulate you, but they're not playing by the same rules, but they're teaching you that they're the rules that they're playing by. Why? Because it's their business. So, you know, Robert Kiyosaki said, you know, you've got to look at the bank and business. It is a business and they're business people. They're trying to set up a system to make as money as possible and to benefit them. So, yeah, in a nutshell, I was living in fear, you know, because I'd been conditioned to believe that, you know, taking risks is dangerous. The only people that make it are lucky people. That was always drummed into my head. It's luck, 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 luck. These people just wake up one day, they have some amazing idea, somebody just magically gives them the money to start, and they get lucky. It's that term that's thrown around. You're relying on luck. True, it's not luck. They just have a different mindset and different way of thinking, but it's not taught in the system. So for me, I would have learned earlier. I would have started reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, listening to Tony Robbins, and just have the courage. Because really, you know, when I did take my entrepreneurial path, I realized it wasn't as scary as what I thought. I realized most of it was just in my head. You know, it was false evidence appearing real. That's what they say fear stands for. And that would be my biggest advice. You know, look at it logically. What are you really scared of? Write it down. What's the worst that can happen? Even if you start a traditional business and you know what's the worst that can happen? You can start again. It's only money. You know, if you declare bankruptcy, half the time you still keep your home, you still keep, you know, a good chunk of the money you've made anyway. So people don't look logically. They live in fear of.
Okay. Yeah, that's so inspiring. James?
Thank you.
Yeah, really. So what are the types of investments that are good at the moment, that are suitable for people at the moment?
I believe personally, they say that the US dollar particularly is dying. It's obviously the predominant currency of the world. From what I've looked at, I think Ethereum is great. Okay. There is also, but you have to be very careful with it too. I think the great currency. Now, China are producing their own currency, and the theory is that they're going to make their own cryptocurrency, which is controlled and regulated by the Chinese government. So, being a communist country and having the largest population, can you imagine people will be forced to use it? They probably won't have an option, right? Because of how the system is. I believe right now it's apparently 17p to invest. So that's like maybe. So if it does this, mind Bitcoin 13 years ago, you could buy for $1. 3 years ago in October, it reached 24,500 US dollars. It was the greatest investment the world has ever, return of investment. Now, I'm not saying it could go that high, but I truly believe even if you just, I don't know, brought $200 worth of this Chinese currency when it becomes available, I believe that could be the next big investment years. But as a general rule, Bitcoin. I would say if you go with those for investment, you can't go far wrong. Elon Musk, Robert Kiyosaki himself, Richard Branson, they are gold. So yeah, I would say you can't go wrong with those things.
Okay, that's a great. Okay, so is it safe to venture into the markets the way they are nowadays?
If you know what your education, if you're willing to invest in your education, is an education platform to teach people how to do risk to reward, obviously teach them how that they can analyze the markets in every way, analyze the news, understand what's going on in the world, analyze the chart to look at key points, market to reward right, and you know how to put like a stop loss in which pulls you out the market if it doesn't go your way, then you will always make money. And you lost up. The problem is most people are gamblers. You know, they say sometimes that, you know, 80% of traders lose. Couldn't tell you one thing. If you put a chart, couldn't tell you one thing about it. They're just pressing buy or sell, and they're just doing this. But they're classed as traders. They're not traders. But if you take the time to educate yourself, you'll make money. Is the key. You know, invest in yourself first, invest in your education first, then the money comes. But most people don't want to do that. You know, people have this strange mindset. They don't mind spending 4 years at university, their degree, to finally be able to make money, but tell them to spend 6 months a year of little investment in themselves so that they can start making even £1,000 a day, £5,000 a day, £10,000 a day or more. If they haven't made a lot of money in their first month, oh, it's a scam. It doesn't work. You just have to get lucky in the markets. No, it's just you didn't want to work. You expect something for nothing. It's not get rich quick. You know, people do preach this get rich quick. Okay, you could put money into something and get lucky. It does happen. You do get the odd case of people who just, you know, takes off and they get lucky. They might make $1 million, whatever it is, right? But it's like playing the lottery. You are just going by pure luck and chance. But if you actually educate yourself, you're not. You're not going by luck and chance. You're going on educated decisions.
Yeah, that's important. What readings have changed your life and affected your thinking?
Definitely Robert Kiyosaki. First and foremost, that was the first book I read. And you know, it came at a time in my life I was most hungry to of living paycheck to paycheck. And I hated my job. So when the first chapter, and it said this, the rich do not work for money. They learn how to get money work for them. And when I read the book, honestly hypnotized, because it was like, it made me rethink my whole. And yeah, I would say Robert Kiyosaki was the first, and then Bob Proctor. You know, I read You Were Born Rich, which is all about, you know, law of attraction. Some of you that have watched The Secret probably know Bob Proctor from that. He's regarded as one of the top 5 coaching and law of attraction experts in the world. Proctor as well. Tony Robbins as well. You know, Tony Robbins had a famous quote and he says, look, you know, success is simple. Just copy somebody who has the results that you want and do as they tell you. Find a mentor and copy them. If they say jump, you say how high. Don't question them. Keep an open mind. And even if something seems crazy, just do what they tell you. Because if you duplicate what they do, you can have what they have. And I'd say that's probably the main thing that stuck with me, you know. Your best way of thinking has got you to where you are now. How can you have something more with your current way of thinking?
Yeah.
So in effect, it's basically saying, mind, if you're thinking how others think and how you think, you know, so many of us take our you know, when I used to go for my financial advice, I'd talk to my friends who, with all due respect, were more broke me at the weekend saying, James, can I borrow £100 so I can go out and have a few beers at the weekend or whatever it is. But they're the first people to know everything about money. They're the first people to say, this is a scam. This doesn't work. My aunties, nephews, nieces, second cousin did dollars or whatever. They don't even know what they're talking about. But isn't it funny how if we want something, if we have a tooth problem, we go to a dentist. If we have a problem with the law, we go to a lawyer or we go to the police. If we need to lose weight, you know, we go to a dietitian or we go to a personal trainer. But why is it that 95% of people, when they have money issues, they don't go to somebody who knows about money or has success?
Yeah.
They go to people generally more broke than them. And this is where I learned why I was going wrong in life. I was taking advice of people I simply would not trade places with in life in the nicest possible way. You know, I'm not saying they're not good people, not saying you shouldn't be friends with people that are only wealthy, because no, you know, people can still be good. But at the same time, you do need to be conscious of where you're getting your advice from financially.
Certainly. When did you decide to get out of your comfort zone and why?
I think for me, and a simple answer is when the pain of staying the same was more painful than the pain of change. So it got to a stage in my life where it was like, you know what? It can't get any worse. What have I really got to lose? You know, what am I scared of? When I actually figured out what I'm scared of, I couldn't tell myself. And I realized it was programming. We're programmed from a very young age, subconsciously, to think that, you know, wanting to have success or wanting to have money is bad. For me, a lot of it also was my, you know, from the teachings of Jesus. I was often taught that, like a bit with the story of the Pharisees, money are bad. You know, James, if you chase money and you're somebody that wants to be wealthy, then you might go to hell, because Jesus condemned those people. He said it's the want of money and what you do is what determines whether you're a good man or always. From the system, we're kind of taught that people who want money or desire money are bad people. No, they're not. It's what you do with the money that counts. If you desire it to do bad, then yes, that's evil. But if you're desiring money to do good, and you're desiring money to help your family, you know, give to good causes, then it's a good thing, because you can't help people if you don't have money, right? If I want to go and help my favorite charity tomorrow, and I don't know, say for example, it's to feed the homeless. Well, how can I go and help the homeless if I have no money to do that? But if I have millions of pounds, I can feed hundreds of homeless people. Do you know what I mean? I can build a center for them. I can, I could maybe give them medicine. And that's the way I really think. My biggest point is, again, just changing your way of thinking. A lot of it is social conditioning. A lot of it was conditioning from people who misread my religion, especially when it comes to Jesus. Because a lot of the time when you read the Bible, he didn't say half those things. They're not taking text of the situation. They weren't taking into context that when he was judging these people, there were the Pharisees that were basically abusing their position and taking money from poorer people. What he said is if you make money suffer or off the backs of other people, then that's evil. But if you're making money from doing something good that benefits, God doesn't mind that. God is actually happy with that, as long as your service and it's genuine and it's pure of heart. But you see, people forget those parts. They just want to talk about the one line that they see, but they don't take the one line into the context of the conversation. You see what I mean? And that's when it then gets misinterpreted as the root of evil, blah, 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 So a lot of it was my conditioning as well from a young age, I guess.
Yeah. If you had a superpower, what would you like that to be?
Oof. You know what? I'll be honest with you, probably flying. I just think that would be the best feeling in the world, right? Just wherever you want, you can take off, just feel the wind against you and be able to see everything. Yeah, I think flying would be the best.
So if you are going to help other people fly and find their passion and do something good out of their life, where do you suggest they can start?
It depends what you really want from life. You've obviously got to try and determine. I mean, you've got two routes. I would always say start with personal development. Get your mindset right. Go and buy Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Buy books like Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. Buy The Secret. Buy Think and Grow Rich. Things like Tony Robbins, Awaken. There's so many great books. Grant Cardone, 10X. Start buying books from these top entrepreneurs that are teaching law of attraction and wealth creation, or you can just go on SoundCloud or YouTube, then maybe have an idea of what your skill is. So think of something that you're passionate about and how you could help others. You might be able to do that through YouTube. You might be able to do that through setting up an online business, and then start making a plan of action. But if you're really not sure, money and just make a start. Or, you know, whoever, even myself, say, for example, you've ever thought about making more money and wanting to trade, then just drop me a message, you know, it doesn't hurt to check out some information, you know. So I always just say that to people. It might be for you, it might not, different things. Start looking at different business ideas. I mean, one of the other great ways to do it as well is if you're starting and you haven't got a lot of capital is network marketing. You know, having a business that's already set up for you, where you've got a product that you can go and sell, and you can build a team. And that's another possibility. If people haven't got huge amounts of money, then, you know, look at maybe a model like that. And then obviously, as you're making cash flow from that, you could maybe start your own business, you know, or something that you're more passionate about. But sometimes just make a start. Just start somewhere, even if you don't really know what your passion is. Just start with an existing business, quite cheap to get into, minimal risk. Whatever it is, start a YouTube channel. Just do a video and start. It costs you no money. Just think of something that you like. You might be a makeup expert. Just do a tutorial on how you do makeup. Do a video of what you do and why. You know, sometimes the most simple things stare us in the face, but we're conditioned to believe that we have to find something secret, or, you know, it doesn't. Just start. Just start where you stand. For example, if you're listening to this today and you've thought about trading, then just start with a message to my friend. Just drop that person a message and check out some info. What's the worst that could happen? If you don't like it, you don't like it. But at least you've opened up some avenues for yourself, you know?
Yeah, really. It has been more than great talking to you, James, and seeing you in this early morning. Thank you so much for your time and for your great information about foreign trade and about Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything. Thank you so much indeed, James.
No, do you know what? It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on this call with you. I really need to pass it back to yourself. Video and many other videos I know that you're doing to really give genuine free value back to others. So I would also say as well, so those of you watching this, you know, keep in contact with Nour, you know, and I'm sure as well you're somebody who, if people reach out to you and contact you, that you're also able to help them on an entrepreneurial path, and maybe give them a few pointers and tips yourself.
I will do my best, James. Okay, thank you.
So it's been honestly, it's been a pleasure, and yeah, maybe we'll do more. But take care, all of you, and yeah, I look forward to doing another one in the near future with you.
Certainly. Okay.